Eastern Illinois head coach Chris Wilkerson. The Panthers coming off an overtime loss to nationally ranked UT Martin this past weekend at home. They're going to be back in action. They're going to be on the road against the SEMO team that's 1-0 in conference play so far. So, Coach, some thoughts on your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. I was proud of the guys' effort on Saturday. We did a lot of the things that we talked about doing to try to win the football game, but just unfortunately didn't. But it was a heck of a football game, and tip of the hat to UT Martin and Coach Simpson. They made just enough plays to get out of here with the W. So, hey, we're on to the next challenge, and this week is going to be extremely, extremely tough. We're going to go on the road and play against the most talented team that we've played to date, and got to go to a hostile environment for their homecoming. So super excited about the opportunity. The guys have been great in terms of their preparation so far, and I'm looking forward to getting back on the practice field today.
Thanks, Coach. Questions, Dan, as many as you got, fire away.
Okay. Well, we've talked a lot about how well your defense has played this year, and amongst some difficult circumstances, and certainly the added depth has helped. But what else would you attribute that success to besides the depth?
Oh, I think the culture change. The guys really play hard for each other. The we not me mentality is real. I mean, again, in the inside linebacker room, we've got 4 guys that are basically starters. Shockey and ET get a lot of the publicity, but Phoenix Porter and Alex Oyewale do play a ton of snaps and are just as important as anybody on our defense. The defensive line, again, guys have continued to step up. We got Kobe Smith back last week. He'll start again this week, finally on the inside. But a guy like Drake Van Hefty has stepped up and just been awesome all year. All the edge guys, Braylon Willis and Joel Barrows have rotated. The safeties have continued to rotate, whether it's Drakeford or whether it's Ruffin or whether it's Mark Aiken, our captain. The guys even on the corner have had a chance to rotate through. So I think the competitiveness across the board makes us better. But Coach Bignell and his staff have done a phenomenal job putting the guys in a position to have a chance to be successful each and every week. And they know they're going to have their hands full this week. This is the most talented offense we're going to see all season long. They are loaded.
Well, you mentioned that it's another talented runner you're going to be going against, and you guys did very well against Illinois State, obviously last week, with UT Martin, with Franklin. So, here's another challenge with Hess, who seems like he's been around forever.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, again, their offense right now is probably one of the most explosive offenses I've seen in a long, long, long time. The irony is that Paxton, the quarterback, is just, he is shredding people. He's only thrown 1 interception the entire year. They've got the most talented receiving core. I know Flournoy has battled some injuries, but I think he's healthy now. He's absolutely an NFL talent. Vic is a guy that's got 42 catches, is a threat to go the distance every time he touches the football. There's a number of other guys in there. But certainly even, again, their tight ends and offensive line, led by their center and right guard that returned from last year. And then, yes, Geno Hess is an all-time OVC great. Has been phenomenal, has been physical. Is a guy that is just durable and rugged, and we know he's a tank, and so he's a hard guy to tackle. He's about 5'8", 2.25, and again, we're gonna have our hands full. You got to pick your battles, and hey, the biggest difference is if you load the box now to try to stop Geno, Paxton is just, he is shredding people. So we got our hands full.
I'm going to be talking to Pierce tomorrow, and you've alluded to this during the course of the season, but what a difference he's made on the offense. So I guess just, give me some more thoughts on Pierce Holly and his performance.
Yeah, no, Pierce has been awesome for us. Like I said, he's extremely intelligent. He has played a lot of football. He's got great accuracy and anticipation. He really does see the game. Him and Coach Davis are very much on the same page. He comes in every single day, get treatment twice a day, stops in the office and talks a little more about game planning and different things that he's seen on videotape. But the biggest thing with Pierce is his poise. We have not done a very good job protecting him all season. He's been sacked 23 times and he's been hit a ton. But he just continues to get back up and doesn't get rattled. And so he'll stand in there to make the big throw, and he'll distribute the football where the space is, and has great, again, vision and anticipation and accuracy. So he's been huge for us, and has been an awesome leader and presence in the building. So super excited about him being here.
Thank you. Kyle, I'm going to turn it over to you.
You mentioned about SEMO, like they've lost a lot of close games at the end. We've talked to you about winning a lot of close games. Just talk about that dynamic. And, it's a record obviously does not indicate how good a team is when you kind of come up in the short end of a couple points.
Yeah, there's no question. Coach Tuke knew at the beginning of the season, this is his most talented roster that he's had there. They return 11 of 22 starters that are seniors or graduates. It's the oldest team that will play by far this season. A lot of experience. It's an NCAA playoff team from last year, an OVC championship team from last year. They've had some bad luck, starting with the playoff game last year and certainly in 4 of these non-conference games this year. But I know exactly what they're telling their guys in their locker room. They're 1-0 in the conference and they control their own destiny. And so they just want to handle their business this Saturday. And that's the challenge for us. We're not 1-0 in the league. So we're fighting for our lives. And the guys are just going to have to, buckle down and we can control what we can. And that's our attitude, our approach, and our response this week. But I know Coach Tukowitz has done a phenomenal job. They are very firm in their identity as a football program. They're physical, they're tough, they're rugged. They play hard hat and lunch pail defense. But they're very talented. And we know, again, we're going to have our hands full at the Cape this weekend.
But besides your record, what would be different if the 2-point conversion was good for you all? Like, how do you use that as like, hey, we weren't successful. We're still this good a team, et cetera. How do you do that with your players this week?
Our guys understand that, we've improved and we knew that we were improved and what that, we talked about that often, what that looks like and what that translates into in terms of wins and losses was still to be determined. And it's still very much to be determined. There's a lot of football to be played. We are, just over now. We're 6 games in. We got 5 left, 2 more before we get to the bye and then finish with 3. We talked about the improvement that we've made, but also the areas of improvement that we still need to continue to make. And so it's really still about our daily preparation and just continuing to focus on the process. All of this, every single thing that we go through and have gone through to date this season is part of the process for us, trying to restore this tradition. And the guys understand that. And it hurt bad. That was a tough loss, as tough as I've been around in 29 years of coaching college football. But hey, again, you don't have any time to celebrate victories and you don't have any time to dwell on losses. You just got to learn from those moments and continue to go forward. So the guys were good on Sunday. They were great yesterday. They're in the weight room right now and we'll be on the practice field this afternoon and looking forward to the opportunity to compete against a very talented football team this Saturday.
And you referenced that SEMO's homecoming, and we talked about when you went to Northwestern State about your travel and stuff. So just a little bit more about your team playing road games. You've responded pretty well this year, and this is another opportunity and what might be a hostile environment.
Yeah, it is. And it looks like it's been packed on the videotape for all their home games. I mean, both sides are filled and it looks like there's some energy in the stadium. They've done a great job there, obviously, with facilities and the winning that's accompanied that. But we're going to go day of. There wasn't really any place for us to stay, and the closest we could get was going to be 2 hours away. So it's going to be another long day for us, but very similar to what we did at Northwestern State. Just we'll be in a bus instead of being in an airplane. So we'll wake up and the guys will be over here for a little mobility stuff at about 7. They'll grab something to eat. And then we'll get on the buses and we'll go down to Marion, Illinois, and we'll stop and we'll do a little final walkthrough, grab our pregame meal, finish the last hour and a half of the trip and arrive at the stadium around noon. And then that first group will be out there, 75 minutes for the game. So it'll be about a 15, 16 hour day, with 3.5, 4 hours of football sandwiched in the middle of 6 hours of being on the bus on the front end and back end. But hey, it's what you do. And again, you get so few opportunities to compete. We just want to make the most of the 3.5 hours that we get from 2:02 to however long it takes, 5:30.
Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Thanks a million. Go Panthers.